Hi guys, so I have with me today Bolarin Akintade.
Hmm?
I always mix up that
Yeah,
name,
exactly.
right?
Akintade
But
is
I'm
just fine.
correct, right?
Yeah,
Okay, so Bolarin is a business strategist and a creative extraordinary. Everything.
brand strategist.
Hey, Jesus, he's always business with me. I'm so sorry. But yeah, it is what it is. Bolarin is a brand strategist and a creative, all-round creative. You're thinking everything. I don't want to say that logo now before it will bite my head and say it's not just all about logos. So, but pretty much everything business branding. This is your guy right here. So today we're going to be talking about branding and how it affects your business positioning and your ability to attract the right market and all of that. And Bolarin is here to answer all my questions. But before we get into it, let me allow him to do a brief introduction of himself.
I think you've done the introduction, but yeah, my name is Bolarin. Full name Bolarin Akintade, but just Bolarin is
Akin
fine.
Bolarin.
Yeah, brand strategist, creative. Yeah, that's me. But yeah, today I'm happy to be here to be part of this episode with Bolanle on like talking business with Bolanle. So here we'll be talking about everything branding, like she said, and how this can help your business. I hope whatever I'm going to say is going to help you, as we move forward with this. So yeah, let's take it away, Bolanle.
All right. Thank you very much. So let me quickly take you on that. What is branding really?
Branding. So I can tell you what branding is not, right? Branding or brand, in a sense, is not your logo, right? It's the feeling that you convey, right? Branding is, in short, when you look at logo or if you look at brand identity in general, I would say the logo is just 10%. That the others are like color. The other 90% are more of colors, the verbal identity, the strategy behind it, the way you look, how when people meet you, when people come across your brand, how do you make them feel? What impressions do you have with them? That is what branding is about. Branding is not, people don't sell product features, people sell experience. Coke will not say, if you look at the Coke ad, Coke will not say, come and buy Coke. Coke will put it in your daily life, right? How, when you're celebrating, there's a Coca-Cola or you have a particular food that you eat. I mean, in Nigeria, I know I've seen ads around Coke and jollof rice, right? It goes along. That's an experience. Do you understand? So, branding is not, um, it's okay. Another thing is about branding you need to know is people judge your brand or your business by the cover, right? So make it beautiful. So meaning that what you are going to do in terms of how you represent yourself, how you position yourself, has to be the packaging. That is branding. It's not. It's everything encompassing. Like in fact, one of the best way to know the, will I say, perception about. I don't know if I said that right, but like about your brand is what they say when you are not there, when you are not around. I mean, people say that now. What people say when you are not around is actually your true self. So that's what I think branding is all about. In like, I don't want to give a definition, but I just want to make people understand that branding is not logo. That one for sure. If you do not take anything, brand is not your logo.
Okay, let me quickly take you on one of the things you said. And I really like it that branding is like the experience and not the logo because now it makes sense that someone like Coca-Cola or Pepsi, in their ads, they are trying to sell what you can do with jollof rice, how you're going to feel, how you need to celebrate with Coca-Cola. But for a lot of brands around here, I don't think that's something that we've done enough.
Yeah.
We are more to push products than, but I'm also thinking about it like, okay, I'm a fashion designer. At the end of the day, I just want to show you the clothes that I have. How am I able to infuse that kind of experience such that you look at it and you say that this outfit I must have it for my next graduation because it evoked a kind of what's it called, a feeling in
Feeling.
me and makes me feel like I want to experience this at my next graduation. I feel like that's something that a lot of people have not.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And when you're doing stuff like that, that's when this element that people don't do a lot comes in play, and that's storytelling, right? Because of course, now I use the example of Coke, and of course, I agree that it's not copy and paste on every brand, like you mentioned, fashion. So how do I do this in fashion? If you're a fashion person, I'm giving this for free. For instance, so let's say you're a bridal fashion entrepreneur, right? So rather than just put your bridal outfit product on the mannequin, why not tell a story? Why not come out? Why are you doing it in the studio? I mean, of course, you can show the product in the studio just to show the product features, but why not have a proper show outdoor with a photographer and you have a bride walking down the aisle or walking down the street. You understand? Like you show the element of how. So what you're trying to do is you're creating like you are helping them imagine how this can be the flow of the clothes, how fitted it is. So if it's for a plus size person or all size fit, or I don't know, but like you're showing the experience, how it will look when you move this certain way, how you look, the panning of the camera and all of those things, rather than just put it on a mannequin and snap or do a 360 view, right? You've seen it in action. That kind of put an experience to it rather than just in
Oh, I
position.
have a bridal client, so I'm going to take you on that. I've picked it out.
You should
I
pay me.
really like that because I'm thinking about it now. There's something my boss said to me one time, and he was talking about a particular brand. I don't want to mention names. And he talked about how someone who is a factory worker knows that he's not making a lot of money, but he's saving up to be able to afford that dress for his daughter's graduation. Like, more like it's a luxury brand. They can't afford it every day, but he wants that sense of, I don't know if fulfillment is the word now, that experience, that feeling. And I feel like that's something that I honestly, if you ask me, I feel like that's something we don't do enough.
Yeah.
We just put products in people's faces. And no, thank you very much for that. I
Any questions?
Okay, so following up on what we just discussed, so it feels to me like to be able to achieve that thing that we said beyond just showing your product, like being able to evoke an experience, a sense of feeling in people. So I feel like storytelling is going to go a long way.
Yeah,
And I feel
definitely.
like that's something that a lot of people don't know how to do. Honestly, even me, because I'm not exactly creative. So what are like 1, 2, 3 things that you feel like people, it can be less, it can be more, and it can just be just one thing. But what an entrepreneur out there that is watching this video now can
Should-
just pick on and
Okay, so I know that in my own experience, there are like I work with corporations, I work with SMEs, like small businesses. But one thing that I know for sure is, regardless of what you're trying to do, storytelling brings the originality of your brand. Now, I'll just use one illustration. You're let's say a fashion person, or I don't know what business I can use, but like maybe you work
maybe
in a factory.
food.
Yeah, something that's crafty, food, bakery, or you're a local bakery store or shop, right? As something as simple as the behind the scene, right? It's storytelling.
But behind the scenes are not so pretty. And
Yeah,
social media
exactly.
these days makes us feel like you have to put
So,
everything
so
together.
recently I found someone's page on is an Asian Chinese man. Of course, that's why the excellence and social. See, what makes it not pretty is because of how you shot it or the quality of the product you're using. But if you shoot it under like the thing is, we don't want it to be super polished and removes the originality. The truth is, the storytelling is about, oh, you want to maybe you are going out, okay, you are okay, let's say a bakery person wants to do a cake for a bride. You document how you went on to come up with the idea of how the cake should look like. Maybe you did some sketch, or okay, the cake should be 4 layers, 5 layers, or you did a short video of you having a conversation with the client. You are telling them, what you are telling people is that you are paying attention to details, because that's where the actual see, storytelling puts you above others. Like it helps your what's it called, USP. For USP, the word is the
Unique service proposition.
exactly the unique service proposition. Like why I should pick you over others, right? So what you're trying to tell is that for every customer, for every client we have, we pay attention to what you really want. We try to bring out your vision. So you don't have to show the full conversation. You're my client. You just show a part where you're having conversation, but you can just label it to the client conversation about how the product is. Then you show yourself going to source for the materials, right? And then the process of time lapse can do that. Like just you don't have to show the exact, but like just telling people that this is the behind the scene of how I'm building this up. Now, another example could be, if you're not doing behind the scene, could be okay. Behind the scene also show the craftsmanship of how the step by step of how we got here. So we didn't just appear, but this took this also time. This took whatever time. Another option could be, you talking about your customer success. This storytelling, the feedback you're getting from your customers, right? In short, if you do it creatively, the times that your customer have corrections, people don't show the pretty side, but it happens,
Yeah,
right?
it does.
When you do the feedback or customers or the customer success story of you compile that and you push it out, the customer testimonial, that's storytelling. You're telling them that these are the clients that have worked with us and this is what they have to say about our product. It brings trust to whoever that is watching, that is thinking, should I go with this brand or not? But the moment you can say a couple of people attest to this, it works. So there are different ways storytelling can work. And again, in social media world now, it's very important.
Okay, thank you very much for that. I hope you're recording your behind the scenes so that you can tell a story with that. So there's this thing. So I had a client last year and then we had this experience, and it was a eye opener for me.
Okay.
So what happened was I just want to know, tying your brand representation to the value that your brand, and that was when I realized that actually your brand representation goes a long way in even affecting the kind of pricing that you can even give your client. So people can see your product and they like it, but then there's just something that just dims the expectation that, oh, this thing is nice, but I think it should not be worth more than this amount.
I
And
see.
these same people see some other things, and because of where they see it, it's just the same way that you go to a restaurant, you want to order a bottle of malt, and you just automatically expect that it is not the same amount with what you buy on the road, or and then you now go to a hotel, you have an expectation that it's supposed to be higher. I feel like people
Yeah.
don't know that there's a thing with that, because people will like your product, but they just put a cap on based on, and I think it has a lot to do with branding.
Yeah. So it's what you're describing is what we call brand positioning, right? So, okay, Vegvablo said something before he died. I mean, one of the interviews I've seen him said, he said, like, if you put a piece of trash like in just an empty space, like random space, it's a piece of trash, like a can. It's a piece of trash, but put it in a all white space, lights, put it on a shelf,
That's
right?
already a museum. People pay to come and watch
People
it.
pay to come and see. So it's the same product, but the environment, the packaging, the way it looks. You see, why I've seen. Okay, there was a time I was in the mall. I saw this particular water. It's called Voss, Voss. I don't even Voss, right? And that bottle water is 4K, and there's Nestle right beside it is like maybe 150. And I'm thinking, is this only water? Like, if I drink this, will I turn immortal? But like the thing is, if you look at the packaging of that product, if you look at the like, you could obviously tell that, see, these guys understood that it were not for everybody. It's not the daily day-to-day kind of thing. Because people like exclusivity, people like premium stuff. So for you to be able to set your price, I mean, our branding can help you set your pricing. For instance, like, is number one, the way you position your brand, the way you package it, the for you to put it on a higher price, then you need to let people know that the quality that you're receiving is high. That's why the can thing, you can't just sit anywhere. You put it in an environment that makes it, that
What is
complements
even
it.
glass?
You understand? So okay, another example could be,
Sorry, let me 1 minute. So for products, I think it's a bit easier because you can see the. So what I was saying is, I think it's easier when it's a product.
yeah,
I feel like for products, you just need to rewrap the thing, use a brown paper, a white paper, start putting a stamp and all of that. And everybody just assume that you are a premium brand. But when it comes to service, because service is not automatic, people actually have to experience you. So for a service-based business, how will you be able to do this differentiation that automatically fits people's mind and just help with the
So I think I
expectation
understand the
management?
question, and you've mentioned one key point: experience, right? So there are three keywords I'm going to mention. First of all, I mentioned the brand positioning, how you position, because I mentioned earlier about branding, the way you look. Like, people judge you by your cover, so your appearance, the way you look, is very important. So, but before I go into that, your position, where you find yourself. Two, brand representation, which is what I was talking about earlier, that the way you look, right? How do you present yourself? And where I will start from is what they call customer journey. Now, there are some key touch points of where the customer meets you at any point. So, okay, you have, like, let's say you're a fashion person, you have a physical store, right? You have retainers, customers that already have you before. So, is either, on top of my head, I have like maybe two, three ways you get customers. Number one, from referral, from people you worked with before, like, oh, this person is good, I'm recommending. Two, maybe they find you online on social media. Where are they finding you? They find you on Instagram, or you have a website, right? So, and three, there's a walk-in store. There, in those three levels that I just mentioned, there's a way you need to represent yourself at each level. On your Instagram, how do you what do they say on your Instagram? Maybe you're behind the scenes, you're showing their craftsmanship, you're telling them that, see, when you come here, this is what we are doing. This is the details, the level of detail we are putting into each of our bridal products, right? Oh, the wife's name is so, or you ask the story about how they met and all of that, and you created something that is memorable. It's not just the dress. You're making it a feeling for them that, see, even in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years down you're married, 10 years down you're married, when you're telling your kids about this marriage, you can tell them about the wedding dress. Like, this is the story behind how we even got here. You are showing all of this storytelling part in your video. Some people are thinking, you know what? I think I really want this kind of thing. So when people reach out to you, right? Did they just enter your DM and or did they fill a form in the bio, or maybe they enter your DM, they say, "Oh, I would like to order or address or I want whatever they say," and then do you be like, "Which one do you want? What's your size? What's everything?" Or you schedule a call. The person that schedules a call, you are showing a level of professionalism in that level. So the moment it's just like going to a barber shop or you want to do pedicure and they're serving you wine. You think sorry, it's too, you've seen
That
that meme
one
now.
problem.
It was like it's too Why? Why are they thinking that? It's because they already know that. If I'm getting this kind of services, this experience you are carrying. So first off, I send you a link or a call link. As simple as a call link, cal.com. It schedules all your meetings and all of that. Once they pick the available date that works for them, or they've seen the days you're available for consultation and the timing, and they fixed it. They got an email that okay, so time, and a follow-up email. These are experiences you're taking them in. This is what your brand is about. It's not the logo of my product. They know
I
that there are
see.
other people around that do these things, but the experiences differentiate you. Or you a walk-in store. You can't. There's a difference when you enter a Gucci store or a Louis Vuitton store and any other boutique. You
Yeah, I
understand?
think I see
You
that.
understand? So everything all comes together as a brand. Now are you if you're positioned as luxury, okay, there are some restaurants. Good mega chicken deal is not positioned as
Yeah.
luxury. So it's like that's why you see queue line and everything. But you can't see line in give me any restaurant, Cactus or also you
Yes.
will see that because there's a look, there's a feel. So once you can identify the why am I doing this? Is who are these people for? Who are the target audience? Once I can figure those people out, then base your experience off that, and that's what will differentiate you between all of these things. So for services, similar. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
So now that I can now say so one a very slippery slope, but let me touch it. Influencers.
Okay. Okay. So
How do they impact your brand?
oh yeah. So
Even though I'm not so much of a
so
fan.
yeah, I have it's two ways, right? I've wondered why a product like Coca-Cola stays influencers. So the influencers on different levels. I'm not talking about just only Instagram
Yes,
influencers,
so
but
yes.
like why is Pepsi signed? Why is Pepsi signed in? I mean, for a long time, Whiskey was Pepsi ambassador. Do they really need Whiskey to sell Pepsi? Think about it. Or Coca-Cola now, I think they signed Ashake, Rema, and maybe higher Thames, right? Do they really need it? But they know one thing, right? They know that they are not people follow people.
Sure.
That's what the influence is about, right? Influence. Like if I can come up and say this is the best drink I've ever had, like okay, just imagine. Look at how you can influence me.
Well, who that thought?
Okay.
The challenge I have with influencers is that this thing you said is so true. Like people follow people. Sales is psychology of sales. It's just you just need to push things around. But we don't exactly with the way we now have influencers all around. It's not translating.
Oh yeah. So I think there are different stages, like I say. For instance, what I was about to say, right, was that if after this conversation now you're just saying that you just tell me that Schweppes pineapple is the best drink you've ever tasted. You said on this video it told me. Maybe this today I'd not even go, but the next time, maybe next week I'm at the mall and I'm just trying to grocery shop and I see Schweppes. The first thing that will come to my mind is this babe said something about chef, so let me try it out. What do you just influenced my thought? So now people use influencers in a way people expect so much from influencers, right? They believe that if this person, so there are mega influencers, there's nano influencers, there's all of these things. So what are you using the influencers for? Are you using it for awareness?
No.
Are you using for if you're using for conversion,
That's
you
where
need
the
to
problem
you
is.
understand. So if you're using for awareness that okay, I'm trying to break into this community, I'm going to break into mothers community, right? I don't know what the product is, but you need influencers. It makes sense for you to just carry like a Messi IB or Messi just have kids and just say, oh, I tried this with my children to make some videos and blah 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 blah. This is what my kids use. And as a mom, it helps me. Every mother has seen Nollywood. They've seen these people act. So it might not be now, but it has influenced them in one way or the other to kind of.
So you just said something, and I think that's something very, very important that people need to note. That because there's this automatic expectation that comes with using an influencer. I don't blame people because it's actually expensive. Because by the time you tell me that pay 1 million naira for one post, I'm thinking in terms of revenue that how am I going to get this money back? But then you just said that influencers, they can be there to serve the purpose of brand awareness.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the chain might be long. It will still lead to revenue at the end of the day, but it might not automatically convert as at that
At
time.
the point.
But it helps you to solve the problem of brand awareness.
Yes.
So I think it's that expectation management that we need to breed, because even me as a person, if the next thing I'm thinking is, okay, so what's the conversion going to look like, and how is this going to translate into revenue? But what you said about Pepsi and Coke and all of
All
that,
those things, yeah.
pushing brand awareness, and unconsciously much later when someone is trying to make a sales decision, can decide to, oh, let me buy this instead.
Yeah.
So it might not be now, but the question now is that I want to make sales now.
Yeah, exactly. So another thing you also need to consider is, if you are picking for small businesses, because now we are talking on the large scale, small businesses, look at how does the influencer like matches there's something they call the core value of a brand. For instance, now if you're let's say a fintech, sorry, I'm good for me to explain the small business, I had to go higher. So
Okay.
you can't see a Union Bank put a Naira Mali on their banner.
No, be me calling on you.
I'm sorry, but like, or anybody that looks,
But I get
because
the point.
because
I get the point.
there is a target. If once you know the target audience, the people you are trying to get, then it influences the kind of influencer you want to get. If you know there's a player there.
So let me ask a question. Plenty nano influencers. I mean, the nano ones are the ones that are not charging you so much. So to have a lot of them, or to do one big influencer, because it's just like I'm doing the math. Add all the money of all the, when it comes to brand awareness, but I'm also thinking that the bigger influencer also has a huge number. If we add everything together, what is it going to? But what do you think? A lot of nano influencers influencing for the brand, or
Or
just
one
one
season.
major guy?
I think it all depends. That's the best answer I can say. One major big influencer can give you a feel like in a 1 week, 2 weeks, depending on how big or how strong the community is. Nano influencers can, if you time it right, can consistently just put it in people's faces, right? So when I say nano influencer, I'm guessing, and again, this is not even marketing, this is not even branding anymore, but like, let's just go for the sake of this. But like, if you have a lot of nano influencers, it's just like all of a sudden you've seen people talk about a gym wear. There's a marathon, right? Maybe this active or whatever, Access Bank marathon, and you see, look, a couple of nano influencers. Are you looking for quantity, like number of people talking about the same thing? Nano influencer can make it trend. Like, when somebody is at the different, let's say you have 50 nano influencers, for instance, now they are the same event. Everybody's talking about, I'm joining active, I'm wearing this gym wear, so breathable. Somebody's talking about, and it's the name of the brand, Bolarin's gym, whatever. And then another person is talking about the sneakers they go from that same store. Another person is talking, like, what you have done is you've created a chain reaction. But a main gym person that is popular can just do it once. You get tractions, but like in I don't
I
know
feel
if you
like the
understand the
dynamics
mathing.
is
Yeah, so it
dicey.
depends on
Pardon my English,
so
but
it
yeah.
depends on what you're trying to achieve as well. But like, yeah, all these things are things that you try, and there's no
But
one
this
way to
thing
it.
you said is something I'm going to. So I think I'm going to change my perspective of influencers. Though. That thing you said about how they can help you push brand
Yeah.
awareness, and knowing that brand awareness, even though it might not give you like an immediate revenue, what's it called, return now, it's a process that if you continue to build, can in turn come back to impact your business.
If you want conversion, do ads. If you're online, Facebook ads. I should be saying this online, but like, we are not paying for this. This is dream. Do ads. Influencers don't put the pressure of conversion on influencers. That's why you have marketers. Your SEO, how you rank on Google. If somebody, let's say gym wear, if somebody search gym wear, is your website the first thing that comes up? That's what converts. Not Burna Boy saying that I wear this. Burna Boy will let a lot of people know, right? But if they now search gym wear, if Nike and all those things rank before you, nobody's going to get that. You get, so your SEO, your ads on YouTube, your Facebook ads, those are the things that genuinely, I think, get a good marketer. So
Now,
that's
this
all.
has been like an amazing conversation. I've learned quite a number of things. I hope you guys have too. One last question before I let you go.
Okay.
So, talking about business skill, and when it comes to scale, it means that you're doing the same thing, multiple locations at the same time or different times. So it means that you're not there being the one. So how do you manage consistency with branding, even as the business continues to expand and grow?
Good. So that's a very good question. And the simple answer, because of time, is your style guide. So there's something called brand style guide or brand guideline, right? The style, the feel, the look. In short, on a larger scale, it has the colors, how it's positioned, how you use the color. So, okay, just not to geek out, let's use GT Bank, for instance. Anywhere you see GT Bank, you can tell it's a GT Bank, right? Because of their color, right? The every building almost looks identical. Like the uniform their staff wears. As tiny as I'm talking about maybe the ones that clean or the staffs that attend to you, maybe they are wearing their orange tile at this particular day. Like all those things is they're in one way or the other, like writing their having that inscripting like their brand into your mind. So or you see sometimes there are some brands that if you see they've not even mentioned the name of the brand, but you can already tell, oh, this is MTN by MTN yellow. Like when you see maybe they've not even mentioned the name of the brand, but they are consistent with their sound. There's an MTN sound. Okay, there's something they call sonic sound. That's another way to have consistency. What does sonic sound means? If you hear the word dun, that's what that's Netflix. Like
That's true.
you understand? Like
I almost failed
that's
that question,
that's
but
Netflix.
it's true.
That's so when you hear the sound, like it's consistent. Every time you want to start a movie, there's a reason why they truly they need to do that. Can the movie just start? But they know that once you hear that sound, you might not. That's a sonic logo in that sense. So it's a sound for his logo. So when you hear that sound, you know that this is Netflix. You don't need to see the logo. If somebody is down here and just plays the sound, you know that, oh, somebody's watching Netflix here. Or you see when somebody's ordering a ride on maybe InDrive, there's a sound that pops up. But you don't know, but you might not mean anything to you until somebody does it around you. You just know that person is ordering a ride.
So they are unconsciously ingraining the identity of the
Identity.
brand in our minds.
So now you might not need a sonic sound, but you need the color. Your staffs, the way they play themselves. This is the color they are wearing. This is how they look. There's something called vibrant identity. This is how we speak to customers. Down to those details. Once you have a guide, so for any new person that you are hiring, right, they go through that guide, they go through that training. That's how consistency is built. So in Unison, when you're now in Asaba, you're in London, you're in Japan, there's one brand guideline. GT opening in Singapore today will have that
They
orange.
mistakenly use where they will fire that person.
Yes, so yeah, that's how to attain consistency.
All right, that's really good. Thank you so much. But my last question is, I mean, if you're a small business, you're not thinking of scaling yet, you're still trying to, because I'm thinking of all these things that you said now, Sonic sound, how much money am I going to spend,
you don't really
what's
know.
my revenue and all of that. So, but I think all of this comes with growth.
Yeah.
As the business continues to grow, you now accommodate all of this. Thank you so much, Bolarin, for your time.
Thank you.
This has been an impressive conversation. I've learned a lot. I'm sure our audience are happy and they're saying thank you. I'm actually saying thank you on their behalf.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. All right, guys, that'll be all on this episode. See you in the next one. Bye.